And welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium. A sunny day. 75 degrees, may reach into the 80s today. Clear skies as the Bengals look to go 3-0. They won the toss, have deferred, and Mike Nugent, who had a very difficult week last week, will kick off. Leon Washington is back for the Titans, and we are underway. 8 yards deep in the end zone, and Washington will take a knee. And that brings out Jake Locker. You take a look at his numbers. Chris, you talked about him as being Jekyll and Hyde. They're hoping for the good Jake today.
Yes, they are. There's no doubt about that. But Jake Locker, to me, extremely impressive physically, and he looked to have gotten better this offseason into the preseason. I think that'll continue. I'm not going to let the first half of last week's game against the Dallas Cowboys wreck everything that I've seen to this point so far.
First offensive series will start from their own 20-yard line. Sean Green, the deep back. Locker with 2 wide to the left will give to Green on the right side, and he'll lose a yard. Taken in the backfield by Vontaze Burfict's substitution, Vinny Ray, starting in his spot. Take a look at the Tennessee Titans offensive line.
Look at Chance Warmack at right guard. He'll have his hands full today blocking Geno Atkins. That's certainly a matchup to watch for. I think you look at the skill guys. Delanie Walker, one of the under-the-radar, more talented playmaking tight ends in football. Look out for him.
They mark it close to the original line of scrimmage. Call it 2nd and 10 from the 20. They give again straight up the middle, and again nowhere to go. Now the starting defensive line for the Bengals.
Well, look at Carlos Dunlap. He's played really well this year, not only in the pass game rushing the quarterback, but he's very good in the run too. At linebacker, keep your eye on Emmanuel Lemaire. He's a talented, long, rangy linebacker, great in pass coverage. And then 23, Terrence Newman, is a resurgence to his career ever since he got back here to Cincinnati from the Dallas Cowboys.
Turned 36 just before the season started, playing like he's 25. Titans now face a 3rd and 8 from the 22. Locker under pressure. Adam Jones can't get there, and Locker finds his way across the 40 into Bengals territory before he's knocked out of bounds.
Wow, what a play by Jake Locker. That's what he does bring to you as far as a running quarterback. They bring a blitz off the edge with Adam Pac-Man Jones, a corner blitz, left them vulnerable to that side. He steps up in the pocket, found a place to run, and he can go.
So Locker turns nothing into something and takes the Titans into Bengals territory at the 49. Locker sets himself to the right side. Green again on the carry that side. He finds room inside the 45 and taken down just short of the 42-yard line by George Iloka.
Well, this is great for their offense, just to get a little confidence after the slow start last week. That was a huge play by Jake Locker. There they went 3 tight end set and just said, we're going to run the ball, see if you can stop it. That's a powerful group of tight ends, and Sean Green is a powerful runner behind them.
They mark it at the 44. Well, it's 2nd down and 5 from there. Locker to throw. Plenty of time. And he gets it to Kendall Wright for a short gain, maybe a pickup of 1 to the 43. Will bring up 3rd down from there.
Smart decision by Locker there. There was really nothing open downfield. He didn't panic in the pocket. Found Kendall Wright over the middle. Keeps them in 3rd and manageable.
Tennessee did not convert a 3rd down the entire first half against Dallas. Thanks to Locker, they converted their first. Now face a 3rd and 4 from the 43. Again, pressure comes. Locker gets it out, and he's got Delanie Walker down the middle. Breaks tackles down to the 20-yard line. On the verge of the red zone are the Tennessee Titans in their first drive.
Well, we talked about Delaney Walker just a few minutes ago when we were going over the lineups. He is a guy that can do it all. You see here, look, a little combination, an over-under concept with Kendall Wright in the slot and then Delaney Walker behind him. He really had either guy, but a nice throw, an even better catch by Walker.
Give him 23 yards.
Walker banged his hand there. We'll see if that's an ongoing problem.
You set it down from the 20. Green picks his way inside the 20. Miller snuck his way down to the 17-yard line. Devin still in on the stop. Devin's quite a story for the Cincinnati Bengals that we'll get in later on. Vinny Ray comes out. Adam Jones is now sent back to the sidelines. Titans have yet to score a point in the first quarter so far this year. Faces 2nd and 8 from the 18. We've got a flag before this one starts. Motion.
False start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Got the left guard, Andy Levitri.
You see Levitri there at left guard. Just a quick early punch. I'm not so sure that was really the center who was maybe late with the snap, but unfortunately for Levitri, he'll get the penalty.
Dexter McCluster now in the backfield for the Titans on 2nd and 13. Again, Walker in motion, now in the slot left side. And Walker to throw. Goes opposite way. His receiver fell down. Terrence Newman in coverage there for Kendall Wright. You see the Bengals starting strong.
Well, I'll say this much, Brad. The Cincinnati Bengals defense, the reason they are so good in the red zone is they can apply pressure with the front four, not having to take chances, blitzing, and then, of course, in my opinion, this is one of the 2 best secondaries in all of football, maybe just behind the Seattle Seahawks. But they have a lot of good corners and good safety play.
Titans have converted their first 2 third downs. This is the 3rd and 13. Dump the screen to right, and he is met. The Bengals sniff it out and drop him at the 21. Leon Hall is there, and the field goal unit comes on the field for the Titans.
Nonetheless, a good start for the Tennessee Titan offense. They were looking to get Locker into some rhythm early. They did that. They got the ball to Delaney Walker. And then if you're the Bengals, you got to be happy too. Yeah, you let up a few big plays, but when it came down to getting in the red zone, they held strong.
40-yard attempt for Ryan Suckup. Perfect on the year. Let go by the Kansas City Chiefs. He pushed it right. And the Titans still have yet to score a point in the first quarter. 2 big third down conversions. They get inside the red zone and come up empty. They're happy in the jungle at Paul Brown Stadium. No points for the Titans. As you take a look at Andy Dalton. A couple of touchdown passes in the first 2 games, but no interceptions, no sacks so far this year. They start 1st and 10 from the 30. Dalton throw, timing route. A.J. Green comes down with it. First down, number 18 looks healthy.
He looks good. What a great throw by Andy Dalton. I think it's Jarrell Casey you're going to see gets a little pressure up the middle, and Dalton makes a great throw under duress. High, which is where you want to throw it along the boundary to a tall receiver in A.J. Green. Interesting matchup there between McCourty and A.J. Green today. Watch for it.
And McCourty struggling coming into this week with a groin injury. Was questionable going into today. 2 set of downs at the 45. They give it to Gio. And Giovanni Bernard takes it for a chunk inside the Titans territory before Bernard Pollard takes him down as we take a look at the starting lineups.
Well, hey, look at the right guard, Mike Pollock today. He's making a start in place of an injured offensive lineman. He'll have his hands full with Jarrell Casey and the inside today. Look at Mohamed Sanu at receiver, number 12. He's a guy that's been making plays for them for the first 2 weeks.
Pickup of 8 for Gio on first down. Give it to him again. And Bernard has the first down inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line before Derek Morgan takes him down. Take a look at the starting lineup on the defensive line for the Titans.
Well, Ropati Patoa is a guy to watch out for. Gets his hands up in the short passing game, and he can be a force in the run game. At linebacker, they got a whole group of good guys there, as you can see. And in the secondary, we talked about Jason McCourty, one of the better cover corners the NFL has to offer.
Dalton to throw on first down. This one complete. A.J. Green with a ton of cushion given by Jason McCourty.
Yeah, a ton of cushion, and it's hard to go up there and play bump and run on A.J. Green because he's so quick at the line of scrimmage. And, of course, his long speed down the field is always a concern for DBs. But, yeah, that's a lot of cushion right there. If they continue to play that way, Andy Dalton's going to take that pass, little hitch route all day long.
Pickup of 11 from the 32. Bernard may have gained a half yard. They may give him one on first down.
Well, we've seen Jarrell Casey be a little disruptive already in this game. There again, doesn't make the tackle, but he is a guy, reminds me a lot of Warren Sapp, who I played with at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Doesn't look like your prototypical defensive tackle, but he's fast, strong, versatile, can rush from a defensive end position, and of course, as a defensive tackle, he's been almost unblockable to this point.
Signed him to a big extension in the offseason. Dalton with time. Looks left side, and it's caught with a flag down. A.J. Green simply comes up with everything.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25.
Well,
spot foul. Automatic. First down.
Pass interference on Bleedy Ray Wilson, a second-year corner out of UConn. You got to look back to play the ball there. He's got his hands full covering A.J. Green. We're seeing here A.J. Green's turf toe is obviously not an issue. He looks like he's full steam ahead.
Early in the week, he said he wasn't sure whether he was going to go. Took Wednesday of practice off. And then went Thursday and said, I'm good to go.
Easy.
First down at the 18 for Cincinnati's first offensive series. Bernard. Straight up the middle, not much there. Titans started with the ball, a 10-play drive, 59 yards, and took 6:04 off the clock. And came up with no points. And Suckup pushed it wide to the right on a 40-yard trot.
River.
Now the Bengals on the doorstep, 2nd and 8 from the 16. Tight end Jermaine Gresham has it down close to the 11-yard line. Bleedy Ray Wilson in on the stop, and it will bring up third down.
And again, we see another quick throw out of Andy Dalton. Getting the ball out of his hand quickly. I've been really impressed with that so far to this point this year. And I got to give a lot of credit to offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson there. Been very creative with offensive game planning the first 2 weeks, and off to a good start here in week 3.
Third down and 4. Toss out of the backfield, incomplete. Wilson there to knock this one away from Mohamed Sanu. And it will force a field goal try for the Bengals.
Well, that's what us quarterbacks in the NFL would call a double stick route. Just a quick outside 6-yard out route. It was tight coverage by Bleedy Ray Wilson there. Dalton had to be safe with the throw. He throws it low and outside. At least give your team a chance to get 3 points here.
This has been the sticking point for Cincinnati through the first 2 games. Unable to convert in the red zone. We mentioned Nugent with a tough start, but this one's easy. And the Bengals are on the board first with a 29-yard field goal from Mike Nugent. 4:48 to go in the first. Bengals 3, Titans nothing.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at JaguarUSA.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
We're crossing the bridge into Cincinnati. Bengals with a 3-0 lead over the Titans. Mike Nugent puts the points on the board as the Bengals stall in the red zone. Nugent will let this one go to Leon Washington. This one 9 yards deep and a knee again. And they'll take this out to the 20-yard line. It is a sad day for the Titans, for the entire NFL. The tragic death of former kicker Rob Baronis. Baronis was killed in a single car crash late last night in Nashville. He spent 9 seasons with Titans. Was All-Pro in 2007. He was just 36 years old. Our hearts go out to his wife, Rachel, the daughter of Terry Bradshaw, and the entire Baronis family. Welcome back to Cincinnati. 3-0 Bengals. Titans take over at the 20. Sean Green left side with a hole. And taken out of bounds at the 40-yard line and a cross. George Iloka ran him out. Big gash for Sean Green on the left side.
Yeah, absolutely huge hole on the left side there. You see Mike Bruce at left tackle there. He kind of sets the edge there on Wallace Gilberry, pushes him out of the way. Adam Jones misses the open field tackle. We've seen some holes in the run game for both teams to this point. I'd like to say this about Rob Baronis. I was a teammate of his at Tennessee Titans. My heart does go out to him. He was a great guy, a great teammate. I really enjoyed playing with him. So sorry to hear that bad news.
From the 40, play action. Locker to Delaney Walker, and the Bengals read that one, taking him down at about the 42-yard line is Ray Malaluga. Malaluga now in his 6th season out of USC. And after 4 seasons thought his time might be up, but then defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer was one of his biggest fans and encouraged the Bengals to sign him back. He's 4 tackles so far this season in the middle. Second and 8 from the 42. The give left side. Jonathan Peko was there with a bunch of help.
Yeah, look at big number 75. Devin's still there on the inside. I thought he was really the perpetrator, the original perpetrator there. Caused some havoc. Peko gets to reap the benefits. So many good players on this front four for the Cincinnati Bengals. Extremely athletic group. One of the better front fours in all of football.
Devin, one of those next man out with the injuries that they have suffered on the defensive line. Titans now facing a 3rd and 8 from the 42. Locker with new instructions. Down the middle and knocked away by Adam Jones as he was trying to hit Justin Hunter. And it will bring up 4th down.
Well, we had an all-out blitz there. And when you get an all-out blitz, that means there's no safety in the middle of the field. Locker recognized it, got them into a good play, gets the ball off, just a little behind on the target to Justin Hunter. But nonetheless, good recognition by him. And a nice timely blitz call there by Paul Gunther, defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's kind of what we saw from Locker last week, throwing behind receivers in the first half.
Yes.
Tate is back to receive this one from Brett Kern.
All right, let him go, let him go!
He angles it near side, off the side of his foot. Not a good kick. And the Bengals will get decent field position. They have the lead and the football. 2:35 to go in the first. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx One Rate. Simple flat rate shipping with reliability of FedEx. And by Bose, official sound of the NFL.
Yep. 30-yard punt from Kern. 2:35 to go in the first. Bengals have it back, starting at their own 27-yard line. First drive, a 9-play drive, covered 59 yards in just over 4 minutes, ended in a 29-yard field goal by Mike Nugent. Pitch on the right side. Jeremy Hill lowers the shoulder and takes it out to the 35-yard line. Throw it back to the New York studios, JB.
Talk about a key play.
Yeah, you're talking about Brian Hoyer doing the rollout here. He's going to hit Travis Benjamin for 43 yards down the field. Big play for Cleveland. All about the Benjamins right there. This set up a 1-yard touchdown run to Terrence West. Cleveland up 7-3.
give Hoyer his due. Brad Johansson, Chris Sims.
Guys, thanks much. 2nd and 2. They give on the right side to Giovanni Bernard, who stretches it out and gets past the sticks. Hey, Thursday night, your football week starts here. Bitter rivalry thing between the Giants and the Redskins. Another big-time matchup in prime time. Thursday night football on NFL Network and CBS.
I'm excited to see that game right there. I think the Washington Redskins a much improved defense this year. The Giants struggle in offense. And I am one that believes the Washington Redskins offense will be better with Kirk Cousins than it was with RG3.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Well, you may not be the only one in that. Slant across the middle. And Dalton is right on target. And that's his favorite target.
Well, how could he not be your favorite target? He's so talented. Just a simple slant route to the right side there. Tennessee playing man-to-man coverage. Press man-to-man coverage, I should say. Not an easy task for Jason McCourty.
Back into Titans territory. Hill now in the backfield on 1st and 10 from the 47. Time for Dalton. Throws it up, and A.J. Green's got his man beat. Got past McCourty, takes it down inside the 20, and Jason McCourty's having a tough time staying up with 18.
Yes, he is certainly, and that's the danger of playing him in bump man-to-man like you see here. He's tall, he has strength, he has the quickness to get off the line of scrimmage, and then I don't care what corner you are, you don't have the speed to run with this guy. He can really go, especially once he gets going. Like we've said many a times already, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
4 catches today for 68 yards. That one goes for 29. And the Bengals are in the red zone again, Chris.
Yeah, I think they got to reevaluate the way they're playing A.J. Green, too, right now. They're being a little too aggressive with that matchup.
Pitch right side. Sanu will throw. He throws back to the quarterback. Andy Dalton's got it. Inside the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown!
Nice.
Wow, well, we talked about continuing the creativity with Hugh Jackson. We see a little trick play here in the red zone. Bleedy Ray Wilson could have intercepted it and returned it for a touchdown. I give a lot of credit to Dalton just catching the ball under pressure there. But what a gutsy call by Hugh Jackson, and I'm sure Marvin Lewis had 3 heart attacks when he saw that throw there.
Wow, Mohamed Sanu now perfect in his NFL career as a quarterback. That is his 4th completion, and he stands at a quarterback rating of 158.3.
Sanu is an extremely talented guy, a different guy, but what a fun play to watch. I really like Mohamed Sanu. He's a competitor. My brother, who's a quarterback for the Jets, we get a chance to work out with Mohamed from time to time. And he actually said to me on Friday, he goes, you know, I take some of those throwing tips your dad and your brother have taught me. So it's good to hear that.
And there you see his numbers. 156 yards in total, and a couple of the 4 have gone for touchdowns. Nugent adds the extra point. And we have reached the end of one dramatically. Andy Dalton takes it in from 18. Dive and give the Bengals a 10-0 lead. Chris, can we call them now the dynamic trio?
I think it's official. But you could see the unbelievable weaponry the Cincinnati Bengal offense has. Now with their addition to be able to run the ball too, it really puts a defense in a bind. Do you want to put that extra guy in the box to stop the run and leave A.J. Green one-on-one? So the Cincinnati Bengal offense has everything you need to be a big-time offense.
Washington brings this one out. We'll take it across the 25. Dive close to the 29. All right, who is the last quarterback to catch a touchdown pass? We go back to November 2nd of 2008. Chiefs and Bucks. Mark Bradley, 37-yard TD pass to Tyler Thigpen. Wow.
That was my old teammate Rondé Barber there. I forgot about that. I need to give him some flack over that, getting burned deep by a quarterback.
Well, do you think Bleedy Ray Wilson will get some flack for how he handled that one?
I do think so. There was definitely, he got caught in between, I think, whether he wanted to catch the ball or hit Andy Dalton.
From the 29, the rookie Bishop Sankey across to the 33-yard line as we take one more look at the touchdown.
Well, look at Bleedy Ray Wilson right here at the top of your screen. He does a great job of being disciplined on the backside. He recognizes the play as you watch him here. But like I said, just gets a little caught in between to think of playing the ball or hitting Andy Dalton. Man, that was so close to being a pick six. Instead, it's 7 points for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Sankey remains in the backfield on 2nd and 7 from the 32. The give left side. Finds his way in a patient run by Bishop Sankey as he takes it out across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
There you see Hugh Jackson, offensive coordinator, a guy that I'm extremely impressed with through the first 2 weeks and even today. Just been so creative with formations, schemes, screens, trick plays, deep passes. They've really done it all. And a great guy, too. Really happy for him and what he's done here in Cincinnati so far.
Well, you get the feeling, the players that we talk to, that they love him.
There's no doubt about it. He's detailed. He holds everybody accountable.
Kendall Wright reverses field and finds some way across the left side and near the sticks into Bengals territory. Adam Jones pushes him out.
You know, getting back to Hugh Jackson, we talk about, hey, you know, we would like African-American head coaches. Man, that's candidate #1 for me right there. A guy that did a great job in Oakland, was a little unlucky or unfortunate to be fired there, but I don't think it'll be long before we see him as a head coach for an NFL team again.
And I think the desire for him is there.
No doubt about it.
2nd and 2. Ball at the Bengals 49. On the draw. I believe he has the first down. Sankey only had 8 carries coming into this game for 28 yards, a long of 12. And now they're giving him some touches in this drive.
Well, like any young rookie running back, you got to be careful about putting them on the field, especially in passing situations. Protection is always a huge learning curve for young running backs. They seem to be more and more comfortable with it.
New set of downs at the 47. It out quickly, and Hunter makes you miss inside the 30. And George Iloka takes him out.
Stay in the box. I know you're.
Well, we talked about how dangerous these Titan wide receivers can be. Justin Hunter is one of the freakier wide receivers in the NFL. He can do it all too, a lot like A.J. Green. I'm not going to put him in that category yet, but he does have the potential to be that type of player.
19-yard pickup down to the 28-yard line. They give to Sankey again, and not much there. Hey, with NFL Now, you can access the NFL's biggest video library on the planet. Select your favorite teams or your players. NFL Now, delivering nonstop videos on your favorite device. Get NFL Now free at NFL.com/now. 2nd and 8 from the 26. Sankey remains in the backfield.
All-out blitz by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Here they come. Locker gets it out, but Wright can't get there.
That's the second time we've seen an all-out blitz from this Bengals defense. Paul Gunther certainly not afraid to pressure the quarterback because of the great faith he has in his secondary. They got a lot of first-round picks in that secondary, so they're very confident in their man-to-man ability.
2 of 4 on third down conversions are the Titans, now facing a 3rd and 8 from the 26. Leon Washington now in the backfield. Delaney Walker right side. Locker with plenty of time. Throws right side, and that was almost picked. Terrence Newman had 6, and he dropped it.
Wow, was that a big play right there? Terrence Newman, usually pretty sure-handed for a cornerback. We've seen 2 missed opportunities by corners to get pick sixes here early on.
And we saw Walker on the right side. That's his security blanket. Locker looked at him. Terrence Newman knew it, read it, and dropped it. 44-yard attempt. Suckup missed on 40. Push this right. And that's no good. Second try, same as the first. Bengals lead 10-0. Well, you can see the strong winds out of the northeast blowing towards the Ohio River. Don't know how much of an effect that has on Ryan Suckup, but he's pushed to right on opposite sides of the field. So after a 10-play and a 9-play drive, Tennessee has come up empty twice. Dump the screen to Ryan Hewitt.
Well, let's check out that last third down play, the almost interception by Terrence Newman. If you look here, look at all the guys at the line of scrimmage, but when the ball is snapped, they all drop out and they only rush 2 guys. They drop 9 people into coverage. Shows you the versatility that Paul Gunther has as a defensive coordinator. On second down, he blitzes everybody. On third down, he drops everybody into coverage.
Pick up 6 on first down to Hewitt. Second down and 4. Jeremy Hill will move the chains across the 45-yard line. Avery Williamson in on the stop. Pickup of 7 for Hill. You like the 1-2 punch in the backfield here.
I really do. I loved Jeremy Hill coming out in the draft. I did think he was one of the top 2 or 3 running backs coming out this year. Does it all, like we talked about. He's a bruiser in the middle, but he can make people miss. And surprisingly to me, he's been very effective in the pass game.
Dalton throws incomplete. One of the few non-connections so far today for Dalton and company. He's gone to A.J. Green early and often today. "79 yards through the air for Dalton. He now faces 2nd and 10 from the 47. Inside give. And the Titans were ready for Jeremy Hill. He'll lose yardage back to the 45. Williamson again on the stop.
Well, this is the first time today we're going to see the Cincinnati Bengals offense in a 3rd and long situation. You got a 10-point lead. If you're quarterback here, Andy Dalton, of course you'd like to get the first down, but you got a 10-0 lead. Don't force anything and give the Titans good field position.
Hill in the backfield now sets himself in the slot right side, and the dump to Sanu, and the Titans are ready for that as well. Back close to the original line of scrimmage, but Jarrell Casey is there to make the stop, and the Bengals will be forced to punt.
He's an unbelievable player, that Jarrell Casey. I thought that was a smart play call there, too, by Hugh Jackson. They got a good defense here in Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, they have a defensive head coach in Marvin Lewis. They have faith in what they can do. Punt the ball, see if he can pin the Titans back in their own territory.
First punt of the day for Kevin Huber.
Let him go!
He hits this one high. Dexter McCluster's going to let it go. It hits at the 4, straight up in the air, takes the Bengals bounce, and they will down it at the 2-yard line. Tough field position for the Titans, trailing by 10. You're watching the NFL on CBS. And the Bengals and Titans join the NFL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. From players to coaches to owners to fans, many Latinos have left a lasting legacy in the league. Hear their stories. Visit NFL.com/Hispanic Heritage. Join us in celebrating diversity of NFL Hispanic Heritage Months all season long. From the 2, and nowhere to go on the ground. You know, the Bengals celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month by recognizing their NFL Hispanic Heritage Leadership Award winner, Anthony Sims Howell. We congratulate him today.
Well, if you're the Tennessee Titans here, the big thing is get a first down. One first down, give your defense a little rest, and just get yourself backed out from the end zone right here. But be very careful if you're Jake Locker if you throw the football.
Green in the backfield, 6 yards deep. The Bengals string him out and drop him at the 1. Leon Hall is there.
Sean Green here. I thought he had a chance maybe to ram it up in here as he got going to the stretch play here to the left. Right about here, I thought maybe just cut it inside, ram it up in there for 3 or 4 yards so you get 3rd and 6 or 7. Instead, he tries to go outside. Now they're in 3rd and 10. Like I said, Jake Locker, be very careful here. You don't want to give the Bengals a cheap one.
Green has carried it 5 times. Or I should say 8 times so far today. He's got 31 yards. They need something here on 3rd and 10. Locker from the end zone. Rolling right. Will run it out and pushed out of bounds short of the 5-yard line. Carlos Dunlap is there, the man that you targeted to start this one off. He's grown into a man.
He really has. The last few years, he's just continued to get better and better. He's long. He's athletic. He's powerful. He's good at 1st and 2nd down, stopping the run, and he's really becoming a force off the edge in pass rush now. Nothing open there for Jake Locker, though. That was a smart decision, just trying to run and get a few extra yards. Little space for your punter.
Kearns standing on the end line. Adam Jones is back deep. The last time he fair caught a punt, November 19th of 2006. Not well hit. It will bounce at the 45 and die in Titans territory. And we've got a flag down in the end zone.
Holding. Kicking team number 53. The foul occurred in the end zone by rule as a safety.
Margus Hunt limping his way off the field.
I think it was Margus Hunt who was held, so that makes sense.
By rule, a safety. The Bengals add 2, and they'll get it back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by AT&T. Mobilizing your world.
I'd rather see that other.
Beautiful day in the Queen City. A safety with a holding penalty in the end zone on the punt. And now Tennessee will kick off. Tate and Jones are back. It'll be Tate. Finds a little seam. Stopped just short of 40. Take a look at the safety again.
Well, they called it on number 53, but I think it's really number 50 right there, Xavier Gooden. He just gets a little piece of Cedric Pierman. And as we just learned there, if you hold in your end zone, that becomes a safety. You got to be really conscious of that if you're a punt team, a punt protection. In situations like that, you certainly can't hold for that reason right there.
You saw Hunt get his leg taken out by his own man, Sean Williams, and limp to the sidelines. Bengals start 1st and 10 from their own 40. Giovanni Bernard, not much there, and a flag flies in late. Brad Allen, our referee today.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And first penalty on the Bengals today. As we take a look at what's coming up at halftime on the Verizon Halftime Report. Join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as previewing Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. It's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. You'll stay with us. Inside 6 minutes to play in the first half here in Cincinnati. First and 20. And Brandon Tate, not much there on the left side. Let's throw it back to the studio. JB.
Baltimore taking the lead.
Yeah, right here you're going to see Joe Flacco dropping back, hits fullback Kyle Juszczyk out of Harvard for a 9-yard touchdown pass. And look at this celebration, doing the LeBron James in Cleveland. Baltimore up 10-7.
All right, back to Brad and Chris.
JB, thanks. Second down and 15 from the 35. Dalton with time, but throws it over the head of Giovanni Bernard. Nothing open downfield for him.
Nothing open there. A smart decision. I think it really kind of caught Andy Dalton by surprise there. The Tennessee Titans dropped 8 people into coverage there. A little bit of a different type of coverage. Good smart play by him. When you're a quarterback in situations like this, you don't want to take any chances. Your team is controlling the game for the most part on the scoreboard, of course, with a 12-0 lead.
Titans defense getting stout. Back-to-back 3rd and longs for the Bengals. This is a 3rd and 15 from their 35. And Dalton to throw. With time, ball batted down up in the air. Mohamed Sanu comes down with it. Back to the original line of scrimmage before he's taken out by Sensabaugh, but able to fight for that ball in the air.
Looked like Sean Phillips got his hand on the ball at the line of scrimmage. Great concentration by Mohamed Sanu. But big stop right there for the Tennessee Titans defense. Bengals had good field position. Gives their offense a fighting chance here to make something happen and maybe get some points on the board.
Huber to kick. And McCluster waiting. Flag down on the field as he fields at the 11. Loses his footing and goes straight down. The flag was thrown before he caught the ball. Back on the far sideline. Preliminary indications it will be on the Titans.
During the kick, personal foul, grasping the face mask, receiving team number 25. That penalty will be administered half the distance to the goal. It will be first down. Timeout.
They got Bleedy Ray Wilson again. He's having a tough day. 4:38 to go in the first half. Titans ball down 12. Back in Cincinnati. Hey, follow all of today's football action. Download the CBS Sports app now for lightning fast scores, breaking news, video, and more, all on your phone. 49-yard kick. And after the penalty, the Titans will start from their own 6-yard line. They did to Sean Green last side. Bengals stringing it out. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Take a look at the field position that Tennessee has had to deal with in their first 4.
Yeah, it certainly has not been favorable for them. You see the 2 drives there with the missed field goals, though. They have moved the ball a little bit between the 20s. There's no doubt about it, but been unfortunate missing field goals, a theme that the Bengals had to deal with last week. It's a big drive here. They've got to get some points on the board coming towards the end of the first half. Just want something positive going into halftime if you're the Tennessee Titans.
2nd and 9 with Freeman in the backfield. Blocker in the end zone to throw, has time. Throwing near side, it is incomplete. Nate Washington out on that side.
Yes, looked like they tried a little double move by Nate Washington, but Terrence Newman, being the veteran he's not jumping anything at this point in the game. He knows his team has the lead. If you're Paul Gunther, a defensive coordinator right now, you're really just preaching to your team, don't let up any big plays, first and foremost.
You saw the drive starts and the hidden yards that Cincinnati has a huge advantage on the first half. Titans face a 3rd and 9 from their own 7. Leon Washington now in the backfield. Locker wants it, gets it, drops to the end zone, steps to the goal line and throws! It is picked off! Bengals have the ball at the 16-yard line. Robert Gathers back healthy and doing damage.
Wow. What a play. Another creative defense, though, by defensive coordinator Paul Gunther. Pressure up the middle. They drop the 2 defensive ends into coverage. And then George Iloka, who's had a great first 2 games of the year, makes the hit, pops the ball in the air, and Robert Gathers showing some ability to catch the ball. Not all defensive ends got hands, but this guy does.
Delaney Walker wanted a flag, thought he was hit early.
It was close, but I thought it was a good no call. It was pretty much bang, bang into some tight coverage right there.
I think Robert's keeping that ball.
He should. Won't be too many of those that come in his way during his career.
When we talk about the drive starts, again, Cincinnati with a bonus starting at the 17-yard line of the Titans. Dalton, short drop, throwing fade into the end zone. Flag down, incomplete. Trying to hit A.J. Green again, and Bleedy Ray Wilson is out there again.
Pass interference, defense number 25. The foul occurred in the end zone. Ball is placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic, first down.
Well, Bleedy Ray Wilson there, you can see he's got the arm out. He never looks back to play the ball. That's really what gets the flag. If you're a DB, you got to make some effort to play the ball and look back. You can't face guard like that. All-out pressure by the Tennessee Titans defense there. So that leaves all those corners one-on-one coverage. Poor Bleedy Ray Wilson, he's having a tough day so far here in the first half.
16-yard penalty. Big Domata Peko now in front of Giovanni Bernard. First and goal from the 1. The give to 25 for 6. Touchdown Bengals. Can't give him a short field.
Can't give him the short field. Tennessee Titans to this point are really just shooting themselves in the foot, whether it be defense or the offensive side of the ball. But this is just big boy football right here. You said it, Peko leading up through there, moving people out of the way. And then Giovanni Bernard makes the nice run and leap into the end zone.
Ball's gone, ball's gone!
Nugent adds the extra point. And they are happy in the jungle. Bengals pitching a shutout in the first half, 19-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL, and by Quicken Loans, for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
We are back in the Queen City. Reminder on Saturday, it is Arkansas and Texas A&M. The best game in the best conference. They're going to play this one at Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Start with college football today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Hope you'll join us on Saturday. Right here on CBS.
That Texas A&M offense is not missing Johnny Manziel to this point this year. They've been pretty impressive.
Putting up some points. Nugent lets fly. Low line drive to the near corner. Washington will bring it out. And take it out close to the 25-yard line. Sean Williams slow to get up on the turf, and we'll head to the sidelines. 3:24 to go in the first half.
Well, if you're the Tennessee Titans here, there's two things you'd like to accomplish. Of course, you want points. We know that. You'd like to get something on the board. But two, you don't want to let the Cincinnati Bengals get the ball back and get a score before the half is over. I think that's really the main thing. Hey, 19-0. I know they're getting beat on the scoreboard right now, but that is nothing in this day's NFL. You can still play your whole offense. Not time to panic yet.
Wagner throws over the middle and behind Delaney Walker, but no one was near him. He adjusts, makes the catch, takes it for a first down out across the 42-yard line.
Looks like the Titans are going to go a little tempo offense here. I think that's a great idea by Ken Wisenhunt. Establish some rhythm, get the Bengals defense on their heels a little bit.
17-yard pickup, and on first down again. Locker to throw, and again with time. Big room up the middle. And Locker slides in Bengals territory at about the 43-yard line.
So one thing that's jumped out to me about him so far, even through the preseason and the first game, he has run very timely. He's trying to make decisions within the pocket and be an accurate passer, but when there's nothing there downfield or the protection breaks down, you see what he can do.
Back-to-back big plays now from the 43 and a flag.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The left tackle Michael Roos. They've spent a lot of money and time on developing this offensive line.
Yes, they have. And Michael Roos, one of the better left tackles football has to offer. Just got a little anxious there. The Bengals were going to bring a blitz off of his side. He recognized it. Just got to sit in there a hair longer.
6th penalty so far this afternoon on the Titans. McCluster in the backfield on 1st and 15 from the 48. Little bubble screen. Kendall Wright reverses field and makes something out of nothing. Take it back to the original line of scrimmage, a gain of 5. And that takes us inside the 2-minute warning. It's all Bengals on the scoreboard so far. Hey, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Latest NFL scores and highlights. Preview the Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 2nd and 10 for the Titans from the 43. Ball on the ground. Titans got it back.
Wow. Heads up play by Delaney Walker right there. Center snaps the ball when Jake Locker's not ready. Still making calls and getting things orchestrated on the offensive side of the ball. You see he's pointing out the protection. And Brian Schwenke just snaps it. What a heads-up play by Delaney Walker, though.
Walker seems to be in the right place at the right time, coming off a huge game against Dallas. 10 catches, 142 yards, and a touchdown. He's the first Titan receiver to do that in 10 years. Drew Bennett the last one. 3rd down and 12 from the 45.
Pressure by the Bengals. They're going cover 0.
Locker has to let it go early. Incomplete.
Well, that's been somewhat of a theme so far for this Tennessee Titans offense at this point. Really haven't had an answer for the Cincinnati Bengals all-out pressure. That's the 3rd, 4th time I think we've seen that this game, and they've yet to exploit it.
It has been a bend but don't break defense for the Bengals. And the Titans will punt one more time after getting into Bengals territory. Almost got there, did Marcus Hunt, the block specialist. This one hits. And the Titans let it go into the end zone.
Well, it's an interesting turn of events there. Derek Hagan, you'll see number 80, he went into the end zone, so he could not touch the ball. So he was waiting for some other people to come down there and help him.
And he's explaining it now. A 45-yard kick by Kern, but watch it hit and stop just like the Titans want it to, short of the goal line. But he's in the end zone. He can't touch it. And no other Titan gets there in time.
That's just unfortunate right there.
Well, the Bengals with a full complement of timeouts and 50 seconds to work with. Giovanni Bernard in the backfield. Probably wide right, Chris, and one wide left.
I was going to say, yep, probably a screen or a draw, and wow.
It is picked off by the Titans.
George Wilson.
You were calling the screen, and the Titans were believing it was coming.
Well, I'm no oracle, but usually in a situation like this, you try to get a drive starter, which would be a screen or a draw, see if you can get some cheap yards. Throws the ball behind Giovanni Bernard, who then tips it in the air, and George Wilson was the man on the spot.
Well, the Titans have missed on several opportunities today. A missed 40-yarder, a missed 44-yarder, and now with 44 seconds left, they have another opportunity after the turnover.
That was big right there because that screen was set up very nicely. If they get that completion there, Giovanni Bernard had a lot of room to run. Fortunate bounce for the Tennessee Titans.
Timeout on the field. 44 seconds to go in the first half, and the Titans with the turnover on the doorstep. Titans with their full complement of 3 timeouts. Will start 1st and 10 from the 22. Time for Locker over the middle. Inside the 10. It will be marked as penalty flags come in late. Hit his favorite target again in Delaney Walker.
They're going to get Michael Orr for unnecessary roughness. He comes in late and kind of cleans up the pile.
Dalton with his first interception of the year and the Bengals' first turnover.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 72, offense. The line to gain has been reached. It will be 1st and 10.
So they mark it off on Orr. But let's take a look at Andy Dalton's first interception of the year.
Well, you check it out right here. You'll see they do a little play action, and then Giovanni Bernard, after the play action, is going to sneak out right here to the bottom of your screen. They got it set up, and I mean, this could have been a gash. This is why this game will drive you crazy, because it could easily have been a huge game for the Bengals offense. Instead, you get an unlucky bounce, and now the Titans are here with a chance to score.
36 seconds remain in the first half. McCluster in the backfield, and now Delaney Walker motions into the backfield. Locker again with time. Dumps it out to McCluster left side. Makes the first man miss. Bengals keep him inbounds inside the 25. Tennessee will take a timeout with 27 seconds left in the first half. We're back after this. Back in Cincinnati. 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 23. Locker steps up. Gets out of it. Throws back across the field to the end zone, and the Bengals pick it off. Ill-advised pass by Jake Locker, and Reggie Nelson is there to take it in.
Wow, I saw it the whole way. Cincinnati's playing a safe defense. They are playing Tampa 2, which means cover 2, 2 safeties deep. You're going to see the middle linebacker drop down the middle of the field there. Locker makes a nice play getting out of the pocket, but this is a dangerous throw. Trying to throw the ball that far down the field, across your body, into the middle of the field. That is a quarterback no-no. And Reggie Nelson was all over it.
I think he was looking for Nate Washington in the back of the end zone. It wasn't anywhere close to it.
No, and Locker, I think, you know, you get fooled sometimes as a quarterback. You press, you try to make a big play. He'll certainly regret that going in here at halftime.
Well, the theme for the Titans is missed opportunities. 2 missed field goals. The Bengals turn it over for the first time this year, give them great field position, and on the doorstep, Jake Locker throws an interception, and the Bengals pitch a shutout in the first half. Robert Gathers with his first pick of the season, and the Titans frustrated in the first half because they simply can't cash in on what the Bengals were able to give them.
Yes, you're exactly right. 19-0 too. The score's a little misleading.
Again, your score at halftime, 19-0. We'll be back with a Verizon halftime report. Right after this, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to Cincinnati. 19-0 Bengals at halftime as we take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam.
Well, here's one of the biggest plays of the half. Really, one of the turning points. Could have easily been 6 points for the Tennessee Titans. Greedy Ray Wilson misplays the ball. Big play by Andy Dalton right there. Score's a little bit misleading right now at 19-0. The Tennessee Titans have certainly had some opportunities with missed field goals. You saw that play right there. That could have easily been an interception. The Titans don't need to panic quite yet. Then you can still run the ball. 19-0 is nothing this day and age in the NFL and the passing offenses that we have. They still have the complete array of offense, and I'd like to see them get some other weapons on the offensive side of the ball. If you're the Tennessee Titans, get them involved. We've yet to see really the receivers play a part in the game. The running backs a little, but it's been all Delaney Walker in the pass game.
It was one of those things that Ken Wisenhunt talked about going into this week, that he wanted his wide receivers to step up. It was all Delaney Walker last week. They have had their opportunities today. They've moved the football. They just haven't scored.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think you look at the stats there, right there. It's 184 total yards by the Tennessee Titans to this point. So they've moved the ball. The 2 missed field goals were huge. The interception, turnover, backed up in their own area. So 19-0 doesn't tell the whole story, but this will be a huge defense of stand for the Tennessee Titans. We're going to kick off to the Bengals here. They need to get off the field here and see if they can get the ball back to their offense, and maybe they can get something going.
The Bengals won the toss. They deferred. Tennessee drove it down the field and missed a 40-yard field goal to start the game, so the Bengals will receive to start the third. This one will go out of the back of the end zone, and the Bengals will start from their own 20-yard line. Take a look at some of the stats from the first half, Chris.
Well, the big thing is the 2 turnovers. Of course, that always hurts you. But you see, it's not as dominating performance by the Bengals, but more the miscues of the Titans, in my opinion. The field goals, missed passes by Locker, and then, of course, the turnovers. That really says it all. But the Bengals have played well on offense for the most part, other than the turnover to end the first half.
Dalton would give left side to Giovanni Bernard. Nothing there. And the Titans, in their last 2 defensive stands of the first half, were very stout. Bengals could do very little on offense and haven't moved the ball very well. As you see the wind blowing here, and it's going against Cincinnati right now.
Bengals aren't huddling up here either. They keep staying at the line of scrimmage. Going to make the Titans defense react to them.
Single wide each side with Bernard in the backfield. Play action from Dalton all kinds of time. Looking deep. Mohamed Sanu's up there. And it is knocked away.
Well, Hugh Jackson dials up a little play action pass. Mohamed Sanu there on the deep post. Jason McCourty, though, all over it. Hey, sometimes you just got to throw it down the field, take a chance, see if your receiver can make a play. At the very least, you scare the secondary of the Tennessee Titans, and maybe open up some of the run game going forward.
Well, I think obviously Hugh Jackson questioned whether or not Jason McCourty still had it in him. They tried to beat him up in the first half and had some success with A.J. Green.
Yes, they did. McCourty and Bleedy Ray Wilson have had their hands full to this point.
And Andy Dalton wants a timeout as he faces a 3rd and 10. So he will head to the sideline, look for some answers from Hugh Jackson. You know, we talked about the wind. It's nowhere close to a day that, Chris, you were playing here. You remember the Breezer Bowl?
Oh, I do. It was one of the most unbelievable days I was ever a part of. You see the trombone player there getting blown off balance. Hard conditions, the windiest game I was ever a part of. We had guys on our offensive side of the ball. I was a backup quarterback that day for Kerry Collins. But we had a running back, Lindell White, who's about 240 pounds. The wind was blowing so hard at one point it blew him to a false start.
It was September 14th of 2008. I happened to be calling that game as well. Now you can't feel it from the booth, but it was a 70-mile-per-hour wind. About 1 million residents around this area lost power, and it cost this area about $1 billion worth of damage. 3rd down and 10 for the Bengals. Dalton to throw. Pocket collapses, and he has to let it go a little earlier than he wanted to, trying to find A.J. Green at the sticks, and the Bengals will be forced to punt.
Big defensive stand right there for Ray Orton, defensive coordinator in the Tennessee Titans defense. Always creative is Ray Orton, the defensive coordinator for the Titans. One of the best D coordinators that the NFL has to offer. He's got every play blitz there is in the book at his arsenal.
Huber against the wind. McCluster comes up, can't get there, tries to take it on a bounce, can't get there for the second bounce, and the Bengals are fortunate to have it roll inside the 25-yard line. A 55-yard kick by Huber. Week 3 continues later on today on CBS. For some of you on Fox, and then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Well, the defense does its job. Now the offense trying to dent the scoreboard. Bishop Sankey in the backfield. This follows the Bengals' first 3 and out of the afternoon. They give to Sankey on the left side. And he finds the edge. Has a first down and more. Taken out across the 40-yard line by George Iloka.
Sankey, an impressive player, a lot like Giovanni Bernard on the Bengals. He can run between the tackles on first and second down. He's good in the pass game. This is a nice little run here. Goes inside, bounces it outside. You see he's got the speed and quickness to make it happen.
18-yard pickup on first down. Inside give. Sankey trying to push the pile. He'll get across the 45 to the 47.
Titans have been able to run the ball with some success today. I think the big thing to me, like we talked about coming out at halftime, is got to get these receivers a little more involved in the offense. It's too talented of a group for them not to have a few more catches than they do right now.
Second down and 6 from the 47. On the delay, Sankey right side finds room, and another first down into Bengals territory at the 44-yard line. The offensive line starting to move the Bengals defense around.
Well, yeah, it was, and they caught him in the perfect blitz. They brought a weak side blitz. The Will linebacker, Emmanuel Lemaire, and Nelson come off the weak side. That's the perfect run away from that blitz. Sankey does a good job getting some yards.
Again, the inside give to Sankey. And again, he sidesteps tacklers and will pick up 9 on first down. So the Titans offense rolling again. They've done this, did it in the first half, but weren't able to cash in.
The thing I like the most here, this is a nice little draw play by the Tennessee Titans, but you don't have to panic yet. Like we talked about, 19-0 is it's nothing this day and age in the NFL. You can still call every play in the playbook.
Second and 1 from the 35. They'll keep it in Sankey's hands. And he backs his way across the first down marker. He'll take it to the 33. And Locker will have a new set of downs, and a Bengal stays on the field. It would appear that's George Iloka. You see what Sankey's done so far today. I told you coming in, only 8 carries, and they have found their way with Sankey today. So while they attend to George Iloka, we'll take a quick break. 11:24 to go in the third. They quickly checked Iloka's left knee. He's up and walking around. Right now, Sean Williams in for him. Titans with a new set of downs at the 33.
Bring it.
To give to Sankey. Left side. Gets the edge. Flat down in the backfield. Sankey continues the run. Down close to the 10-yard line, but this one may be coming back.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that negates a 21-yard pickup.
Well, you'll see Andy Levitre, your left guard right there. Got a tough task in trying to block one of the best defensive tackles in football, Geno Atkins. Gets the hands extended. They're going to call that every time.
Iloka back in. Sean Green did the early work on the ground in the first half. 9 carries for 32 yards. It is Sankey in the second half. 9 carries for 60 yards. Locker inside to Kendall Wright. Or I should say Justin Hunter, who's taken down at the 37-yard line. They call themselves Scorpion. 4 of the smartest people in the world working together to fight threats against America. Inspired by a true story, Scorpion. It premieres tomorrow, right after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS. Second down and 14 from the 37. Walker again to throw. Pressure comes. He throws middle of the field looking for Delaney Walker, who wanted a flag. Will get none. And it will bring up third down and long. Reggie Nelson was running with him.
The Tennessee Titans is one of the themes to me so far is their inability to kind of exploit the pressure package that the Cincinnati Bengals defense has brought. You see there just unable to connect to Delaney Walker, but it was a tough throw. Here you just want to get some yards just to get your team in field goal position at the very least right here.
Titans 2 of 8 on third down conversions. This a third and 14. Walker in trouble and he goes down. Carlos Dunlap.
Well, we talked about Carlos Dunlap. You see him there against Michael Orr. Just a nice little in and out dip move right there. But the continuing growth of Carlos Dunlap, establishing himself as one of the better pass rushers in football this year.
Again, the Titans get deep, shoot themselves in the foot, push themselves back, and are forced to punt one more time. Takes a high bounce, unable to keep that one in play. It will come out to the 20. Bengals have a 19-0 lead in the ball. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. McDonald's, official sponsor of the NFL. I'm loving it. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the first ever MKC.
Good day to float down the Ohio River. Windy day in Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis has his team up 19-0 with the ball. 9:16 to go in the third. Bengals' second offensive possession of the second half. Dalton, the throw, had the ball batted at the line of scrimmage. Second time that's happened today. Well, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, the Bengals have won 10 straight in the regular season here at Paul Brown Stadium, and you can see by the numbers why.
Well, I'll tell you the first reason they've won 10 straight, that's because they're really, really good. So it always helps when you got a good football team playing at home, but a well-rounded, like we've talked about. I think it's a Super Bowl contending team in the AFC.
Give to Giovanni Bernard. He sidesteps his way out close to the 25-yard line as we send it back to our New York studios in JB.
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers right here going back to the well, hitting Eddie Roy for the second time today. This one goes for 6 yards. That capped a 14-play drive, 80 yards. I tell you what, San Diego's looking good.
Brad and Chris.
900 jet yo-yo. 900 yo-yo.
JB, thanks. Chargers on a little bit of a roll, Chris.
Yes, they're another team to keep your eye on in the AFC.
Got Sanu down the sideline, and he tiptoes his way across the 40-yard line. They may not give him that much stepped out across the 35.
Well, what a player this Mohamed Sanu is. I think it just talks about this Bengals offense, the weapons they have. And we're forgetting Marvin Jones, their real number 2 wide receiver. He's not out here. Tyler Eifert, tight ends, injured. So this is an offense that I think is just going to continue to get better and better when they get some of their key components back throughout the season.
11-yard pickup and a first down at the 36.
Get out there. Let's go 361. Junior.
Dalton changing the play. Sanu comes out wide left. Dalton looking that side to Sanu. Can't get it to him. Took out someone on the sideline. Jason McCourty out in coverage with a flag on the field.
illegal use of the hands by hands to the face. 25 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, I believe Ray Wilson is having a tough afternoon.
Yes, he is. That's a tough call. Sometimes you're jamming receivers at the line of scrimmage, and just by accident, your hand hits the face of the wide receiver. But clearly, he does hit him in the face there.
Tough to play cornerback in the NFL right now. The give inside to the 45-yard line by Giovanni Bernard. The Bengals would love to control the clock right now.
Yes, they would. I think the play calling will continue to be conservative. There's no need to take a chance. I think if you do see them take a chance, it'll be a lot like we saw the first drive of the second half. Maybe a deep shot to one of the receivers down the field.
Give on the left side. Bernard can't find his way back to the line of scrimmage.
And you might ask, why take a deep shot? Well, at the very worst, if it gets intercepted, it's almost like a punt. So I don't see Hugh Jackson or Andy Dalton taking too many chances. If you get one-on-one with A.J. Green, so be it. But other than that, it'll be very conservative.
3rd down and 6 from the 45. And we may have had movement on the defensive line. Titans pointing one way, Bengals the other. Andre Smith thinks he knows.
Neutral zone infraction, 59 defense.
And he does.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, this is a good job right here. You're going to see Carl Klug right there. He's going to jump, and then right tackle Andre Smith, very aware, he moves. That makes the infraction on the defense for encroachment. Nice aware play by right tackle Andre Smith.
10th penalty on the Titans. Make it 3rd and 1 right at midfield.
Lady! Out move! Like that!
Dalton will sneak it. And that's enough for the first down. If you heard the Titans, you may have heard the open mics on the line say, he moved, he moved. They want to even things out.
Yeah, that was never one of my favorite calls. The quarterback sneak when everybody on the defense is expecting it. He's doing it all today, though. He's running, he's catching, he's throwing. Andy Dalton showing everybody that he's worthy of the new contract he received before the season.
New set of downs in Titans territory. Dalton to A.J. Green. He's been quiet for a while, but he takes it out to the chains inside the 40-yard line.
Well, this is a high percentage pass play, and as long as Andy Dalton continues to see man-to-man outside here against A.J. Green, this is just routine completion in the NFL. And if they can just continue to see this man-to-man coverage, Dalton is going to take advantage of it.
A.J. limps to the sideline. From the 39, Gio with the spin. Bernard left side. And Giovanni Bernard takes it inside the 30-yard line for another first down.
Well, you see why I say he's a lot like LaShawn McCoy. The move he puts on Cameron Wimberly. You see A.J. Green there. I think he's grabbing his hand, so hopefully it's not that toe. But here's the run by Giovanni Bernard. Wow, what a spin move. It's great in space. The guy continues to remind me more and more of LaShawn McCoy with the Philadelphia Eagles.
He has some moves. The pitch, Brandon Tate right side, blocking out in front. Brandon Tate has another first down.
More kudos to offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson. Even though they're being conservative to a degree, they're still kind of keeping the pedal to the metal. But trying to take advantage of an over-pursuing Tennessee Titans defense. That's been one of their issues to this point for the Titans on defense. A little over-aggressive at times. Nice play call by Hugh Jackson.
They're getting it in big chunks on this drive. That for another 12 down to the 15-yard line. Inside 4:30 to play in the third. They give inside to Bernard. Pushes the pile. And then we'll push back will the Titans. Stopped at about the 13-yard line by Al Woods. Titans trying to get some fresh bodies in before they snap this next one.
Just want to hold them to a field goal here if you're the Tennessee Titans. That'll still keep it a 3-score game at 22-0. Dalton
to Giovanni Bernard. No one goes with him. And Bernard takes it very close to another first down. Out of bounds just short at the 6-yard line. Pushed out by Michael Griffin.
A lot of space right there for Giovanni Bernard. Michael Griffin's safety there. He was trying to respect the Jermaine Gresham route and also play Giovanni Bernard in the flat. You're not going to win a lot of those one-on-one matchups in the open field with Giovanni Bernard.
3rd down and 1 with the ball at the 6-yard line. Big down for the Titans defense. Dalton will push it forward again and get some push from behind by Giovanni Bernard, and it will be 1st and goal, Cincinnati.
Well, they're just basically saying, we don't care if you know the quarterback sneak's coming. We believe we're bigger and more powerful than you. This Cincinnati offensive line, they are no joke. A lot of size all through the starting 5.
Again, Bernard pushing his way to the goal line. And the indication he's down just short.
Well, let's see. I thought it was very close when I saw the original
Number
look.
74 reports as an eligible receiver. 74 is eligible.
Yeah. Couldn't quite see any evidence of him getting over. I think that was the correct call, the right spot.
Domata Peko in front again. 2nd and goal from inside the 1. Bernard leaps. 2nd effort. Touchdown. The Bengals go 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions in that drive. Take big chunks of yardage and give the last one to Giovanni Bernard.
Giovanni Bernard, how do you not love this kid? A smaller type running back, but all he talks about with us in our meeting on Friday is how he loves contact. He loves to run people over. I just found him very interesting, a great player. You can tell the Bengals really love him. He's a good person, too. The kid's going to have a big career.
Mike Nugent for the extra point.
Ball's gone.
Up and through to cap a 14-play, 80-yard drive. 7:18 off the clock. The last one by that man. It's 26-0 Cincinnati. It is all Bengals in Cincinnati, 26-0. Giovanni Bernard with his 2nd touchdown on the day. Jeremy Hill's got to be a little hungry for the ball right now.
He's got to be saying, what about me? Don't forget about me. I'd like some touchdowns. But it's a great duo at running back between those two. It's not a great day rushing the ball to this point.
Well, the Bengals did exactly what they wanted to do. They ate up the clock. We're inside 2 minutes in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile and by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement.
It certainly has been the Cincinnati Bengals show today. 26 is either a good or a bad number for the Titans this year. They won with it in week 1, lost with it in week 2, and are down with nothing on the board in week 3. McCluster out of the backfield to the 29. Hey, tomorrow the Knights for the Big Bang Theory season premiere. Don't miss 2 new back-to-back episodes on its new night tomorrow at 8, 7 Central. Only CBS. Flag on the field.
Mello, that was a pass. Illegal contact. Defense number 34. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
The old illegal contact, the story of the preseason.
We haven't gotten any of those yet this year, have we? Every other play. A cluster in the backfield. Locker rolls in trouble and get caught from behind. The rookie, Darquez Denard, out of Michigan State.
Well, you see here, Locker's picked up. He did not need to panic and leave the pocket there. A creative blitz nonetheless. But Locker leaves the pocket a hair early. Did have a chance at a few receivers down the field there.
And Denard gets his first sack. Locker to throw. Got it very close to the first down marker. Adam Jones in coverage. It will bring up 3rd down and 1. Showing blitz and coming. McCluster loses his footing. I don't know whether he got there. And the side judge is motioning 4th down.
Well, we're going to go to the quarter here. It'll be an interesting call by Ken Wisenhunt whether he decides to try to go for this or not.
Deep in their own territory, ball just short of the 35-yard line. At this point, do you go for it?
I would if I was the Tennessee Titans. You're down by 4 scores at this point. I think you got to figure you get 3 possessions maybe in the 4th quarter, maybe 4. You got to push the limit here a little bit.
We'll see what that man decides. 26-0 Cincinnati. We'll return to Cincinnati after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. It is 4th down and 1. Teams against the Bengals this year, 2 for 4 on 4th down. Titans need this one in the worst way. The give inside the battle. And he pushes the pile forward close to the 40-yard line. Titans will get a new set of downs.
Well, I thought that was a smart call to go for it on 4th down. Down 26-0. You think at the very most you get 4 possessions in the 4th quarter if you're lucky. They need to pick up the tempo here at this point. And certainly push the limit down the field. You see Paul Gunther there. What a job he's done this year. I know they're 25th in total ranked defense, but it's only 2 weeks.
Locker to throw on 1st down. Across the middle, no one with McCluster. He takes it into Bengals territory. Down at the 48-yard line in front of Denard.
Getting back to Paul Gunther, though, I know they're 25th in total defense right now, but it's still early. I think when it's all said and done, at the end of the season, this defense will be back up towards the top 5 in the NFL. Too talented, too many good players.
From the 48. Locker steps up, has time, middle of the field, and he overthrew Wright. Had Kendall Wright open, and as we've seen from Jake Locker this year, he's done that a bunch. Let's throw it back to New York studios and JB.
Manziel, who, Tony?
Yeah, Manziel, who needs cash when you have Hoyer? Brian Hoyer, right here to Miles Austin for the 4-yard touchdown pass. Brian Hoyer is 17 of 19, 214 yards, and a touchdown. Ballin'. 21-17, Browns up.
I'm sure Chris Sims can appreciate that he's getting it done. Brad and Chris.
JB thanks. Locker to throw again. That one through the hands of his receiver. Nate Washington couldn't come down with it. And the frustration continues for the Titans.
Yes, just Jake Locker a little off at times. Been a mistake or a miscue by somebody within the Tennessee Titans offense almost every drive, whether it be the offensive line, receivers, running backs. Just haven't been able to put the whole package together for a complete drive today.
You see that 2 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Locker 13 of 24 for only 122 and a couple of picks.
More pressure maybe.
Locker Has a man open, and almost a great catch made by Taylor Thompson. Couldn't bring it in with the left hand. Reggie Nelson was out in coverage, but he was beaten.
He was. Another pressure by defensive coordinator Paul Gunther, but again, just a foot off. You'd love to see Taylor Thompson bring that in, but that wasn't easy by any means. You'd also like to see Jake Locker just take a hair off it there. But that's really been the theme of the day for the Titans. Can't put it all together.
4th down and 10, and Kern will come out to punt. The 4th punt of the day for the Titans. Brandon Tate is back deep for this. Runs up and makes a diving fair catch. And the Bengals have it back. It is all Cincinnati. 26-0, 13:33 to go in the 4th. Back at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Andy Dalton getting it done today. You don't usually see all of these stats for a quarterback.
No, you don't. It's pretty funny, actually. I'm not ready to call him Michael Vick or anything like that yet, but it's certainly an impressive day by Andy Dalton.
From the 24. The pitch left side.
Big Jeremy Hill getting his turn now.
I guess they heard you, right?
He said, I'm hungry. Let me get a few carries. This is just a simple toss sweep here. They seal it off nicely. But this is where Jeremy Hill can thrive. You're up 26-0. Now he's a bigger type back. This is the last thing a defender on the Tennessee Titans wants to see right now, is a big physical back coming downhill at them at the end of the game.
And he says, I can hurdle just like Giovanni. Straight up the middle this time. Ticks his way, does Jeremy Hill. He bruises across the 42. Hey, this Tuesday on CBS, season premiere you've been waiting for. TV's #1 drama, NCIS, is back in action Tuesday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central, only CBS. So give Jeremy 6 on 1st down, 2nd and 4 now from the 42.
On the Bengals, I just keep feeding the beast in Jeremy Hill.
They got tight end / H-back. Ryan Hewitt in the backfield in front of Hill as Dalton drops to throw. Got him. Mohamed Sanu down at the 46-yard line of the Tennessee Titans.
Wow. Well, what that tells me right there is that Hugh Jackson has extreme confidence in Andy Dalton and his ability to make decisions at the line of scrimmage. He checks to that pass play, seeing that the Tennessee Titans defense is run heavy. They trust him to throw to the ball up 26-0. He's really played well these first 3 weeks.
Let's go White, fast,
when we talk to Hugh Jackson, you say the media persona that Andy Dalton gives is kind of flatline. Never too high, never too low. Hugh Jackson's response, the guy I've got is an animal. And the animal takes him down to the 31-yard line.
You're exactly right. He said Andy Dalton has a fire within him. You can see it a little bit here. Another nice, accurate throw, inside slant. Mohamed Sanu becoming a very reliable target for this Cincinnati Bengals offense. But as you can see, it's just a hard team to match up with because of their ability to run the football now. They are a more dangerous football team than in years past.
The give inside. Jeremy Hill pushes the pile. Well, you talk about Sanu and how much confidence they have in him. We talked to Marvin Lewis about it, and he said Sanu was the man before he got hurt, and then Marvin Jones took over. Then Marvin Jones got hurt. Sanu's back to the man again.
Yes, he is, and it's a good problem to have if you're Marvin Lewis because they have a lot of weapons at their disposal. It's just an extremely talented group. And you see here, look at the distribution of the football. Sanu, Green, Andy Dalton on the receiving end. But Bernard and Hewitt, a lot of guys to get the ball to in this offense.
Dalton to throw again, got into Green inside the 5-yard line, loses it on the ground. They say ball is down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 4. He was juggling on the catch, and the kid who learned to juggle very early on can take it inside.
Well, you see right here, this is almost impossible for any corner in football to cover him like this. But this is the tremendous bind the Cincinnati Bengals offense puts defensive coordinators in. They run the ball, you want to stop the run, you bring a safety down into the box to stop the run. Now you leave your secondary vulnerable against a talented wide receiver and tight end group.
1st and goal from the 4. Goes out to a little wide receiver screen, the bubble screen, and Mohamed Sanu that we have been building up so much. Couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, A.J. Green looking a little gimpy there on the sideline. But this is the time of the game, if you are Marvin Lewis, maybe you say, okay, A.J., we've seen enough of you. We got this game in hand. But he still looks like he's coming back in.
The give inside. The push of the pile very close to the goal line. Touchdown! Jeremy Hill from 4 yards out.
Well, just a little inside zone running play. And this is what a 230-pound running back can do. Great job sticking out the hand right there, getting across the goal line. Pretty clear that was a touchdown.
It is quite a 1-2 punch in the backfield, but you've kind of talked about it since we started the broadcast. A lot of weapons for Hugh Jackson to work with.
It really is, and I think, you know, the players talked about how detailed he is, how much they love playing for him. I think as the offense continues to grow, Hugh will continually add more formations and schemes to the package. Watch out for this Bengals offense as the year goes.
Look at the goalpost swing in the breeze. It's not quite Breeze or Bowl 2, but the Bengals are dominating the game and dominating the win. 33-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Jeremy Hill from 4 yards out. A touchdown for the 2nd consecutive week for the rookie. 8 plays, 76 yards, 4:07 off the clock. Chris, you started out by saying you believed that the Bengals were a Super Bowl contender before they started this game. Your thoughts now?
I am completely convinced of that now. If there is anybody out there that wasn't convinced, this certainly will do it. But you just look at both sides of the ball, even special teams. There's really no weakness to the team. Great pass rushers on defense. Like I've said a few times today, I think it's the 2nd best secondary in all of football, only behind the Seattle Seahawks. And now, you know, I know we've talked about it a few times here in the second half, but the run game is really what's standing out to me over the first 3 weeks. It's just going to make A.J. Green, Mohamed Sanu, and Andy Dalton so much more dangerous. It's going to keep a lot of defensive coordinators up late at night.
Continues to blow the ball off the tee. Reggie Nelson holds, and Nugent kicks it out of the back of the end zone. So the Titans will take over at their own 20, 9:26 to go, down by a bunch.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today. Bud Light reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com.
Titans will start from their own 20-yard line. Sankey out of the backfield with some room and very close to a 10-yard pickup. You look at their 8 possessions, it would be described as mildly frustrating.
Yes, it was promising early. You saw they moved the ball, missed the 2 field goals, but ever since they got that safety, it's been downhill ever since. The biggest play being, I think, before the half, the big interception that Jake Locker throws across his body. That really hurt the Titans.
On 2nd down. Locker with time. in trouble and makes something positive out to the 35-yard line.
Ball, ball, ball.
Well, Cincinnati's been all over Jake Locker today.
They can do it so many different ways. You see them stopping the run, Pecco all over it. Creative blitzes, creating an interception right there. Robert gathers. Here's the ill-advised throw by Locker that we talked about. And then the pressure. Carlos Dunlap emerging as a superstar coming off the edge as a pass rusher.
Tennessee has been able to move the ball at times. They just haven't been able to capitalize. Another first down. Sankey left side, cuts back in, flag in the backfield as Malaluga throws him out of bounds. And another flag.
Well, you're going to get holding, and then you're going to get a personal foul on the rookie, Taylor Lewan. Maybe Carlos Dunlap, too. They were involved in a little something there.
Lewan, their first-round draft pick in 2014 out of Michigan.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 67. Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 96. Those fouls offset. First down, repeat the down.
Well, you could see them on the ground having a little tussle here. The one negative about the first-round pick, Taylor Lewan, when he was coming out in the draft, was his temper to a degree. You could see he's certainly not afraid of a little confrontation there.
He was responding to a punch and a kick.
He just said, my bad, to Carlos Dunlap, so that's very professional of him.
So the penalty's offset. First and 10 from the 35. Locker to throw. Complete across the 40 and more. Into Bengals territory goes Craig Stevens. And a flag comes down late. Multiple flags on the sideline after the 20-yard pickup by Stevens.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 27, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Drake Kirkpatrick there, obviously, with a late hit.
Well, I look at this. If you're the Tennessee Titans, what are they doing right now? Hey, this is a chance for them to execute their hurry-up offense. We can't forget, they are learning a new system under Ken Wisenhunt, head coach, who also is the offensive coordinator for the most part. But this is good reps for Jake Locker and the young receivers in Justin Hunter and Kendall Wright.
New set of downs at the Bengals 30. The give left side and cut back inside. Not much there. Maybe a gain of 1.5. When we talked to Jake Locker yesterday, he says, I'm learning. I probably know more about how to run the offense than I ever have, but it was frustrating to begin with in this system.
Yeah, never easy when you do learn a new system. Not only the new language, there's new concepts, there's new protections. There's a lot of new stuff for a quarterback to learn. It sounds like, as far as Ken Wisenhunt's concerned, has really grown as a player, understanding the total package of being an NFL quarterback.
The Bengals come. Locker throws it up. Flag goes down. The ball is caught at the 1-yard line by Kendall Wright as he comes back for it. It would appear it's going to be first and goal for the Titans.
Well, it's all-out blitz again by the Cincinnati Bengals. Paul Gunther not taking his foot off the pedal.
A personal foul, grasping the face mask by the defense, number 27. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic. First down.
That's really the first time all day, though, we've seen them exploit the all-out pressure from the Bengals. It was good coverage by Drake Kirkpatrick. Just gets his hands on the face. And a nice catch by Kendall Wright.
Obviously, many of the Bengals starters on defense on the sideline. As Marvin Lewis wants to see what these guys can do. He is all about the depth and next man in. Marquise Flowers runs in late. It is first and goal for the Titans inside the 1. And we've got a flag before they snap this one with a motion penalty.
Thought Marvin Lewis might have got a timeout, too. He tried to run down the field. --
12 players on the defense. half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
And that's why he wanted a timeout.
Yes. There was confusion there with the linebacking core as far as who should be in the game and who shouldn't.
You see the quarterback comparison. And it's not as if Andy Dalton has done anything spectacular today. The give to Green. Touchdown. And the Titans, with 6:09 remaining in the game, are on the board.
I know it seems inconsequential at this point, being 33-6 before the extra point, but still as an offense, you want something to build on going into week 4. These are teaching moments for Ken Wisenhunt.
And Ryan Suckup will try and add the extra point.
Ball's gone.
Up and through. So the Titans drive down the field, get a little help from the Bengals. Sean Green, the last yard across the goal line. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Family members, Paul Brown Stadium, enjoying their time.
When's the last time he shaved?
It's been a while. Maybe the last time a quarterback caught a touchdown pass, maybe that was his last shave. And now he can go back at it again as Andy Dalton took one in. So the Titans in this win looked like they were setting up for a potential onside kick. Let's see if we get one. We do. And the Bengals have it. Dane Senzenbacher comes up with it. And the Bengals will have the ball. And they've got a big lead, 33-7 in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Andy Dalton is done for the day. 15 of 23 for 169, gives way to Jason Campbell. The give on the right side, and a flag comes in late again.
Dalton was smart today. He did exactly what was asked of him by his offense, by his head coach. Had some timely big throws, but managed
Personal
the offense.
foul, unnecessary roughness, 59 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Got Wesley Woodyard. And he was right where Mohamed Sanu wanted him to be. He runs routes well, too.
He does, no doubt about it. We talked about it early in the game. One of the keys to success, we thought Hugh Jackson had to continue the creativity. He certainly didn't lack any creativity today. I thought he did a great job play calling, staying patient with the run game.
Green 80.
Hey, pigeon.
Green 80.
They give right side to Cedric Pierman. Let's send it back to New York and James Brown.
Most of you will see this Super Bowl rematch between the Broncos and Seahawks. You know Peyton Manning salivating for an opportunity at the Seahawks, and Russell Wilson, who runs, as Coach Cowher says, maybe the most balanced offense in the league. 2 championship caliber coaches manning the sidelines. That's coming up next here on CBS. Brad Johansson, Chris Sims.
Thank you, my friend. 5:07 remaining in this one. And the clock ticking.
Go Green 80. Green 80.
Pierman, left side. After first contact, we'll take it down inside the 25-yard line. Denver and Seattle. How do you handicap this one?
Might be a Super Bowl rematch, might be a Super Bowl preview. It's kind of both here, but I think it's going to be an interesting game. Of course, what Denver did on the defensive side of the ball this offseason, signing T.J. Ward at safety, DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller now on the edge as far as pass rushers. They certainly improved their team. I think they improved it based on what they saw against Seattle, but that is certainly that's the toughest environment to play in football. Seattle Seahawks, home field advantage with the loud crowd, the speed they have on that surface. I think the Seahawks win a close one.
All right, you heard it from Chris Sims. A dump out to Kevin Brock on 3rd down.
It's going to be an angry Seattle Seahawks defense after last week against the Chargers too, so I wouldn't want to be Peyton Manning and company today.
You think it might be kind of loud in there?
Oh, I've been there on opening day before. I've been there during the season, just the middle of the season. It's the loudest place I've ever been at, and added to the talent level they have on the field there in Seattle right now with the pass rushers, Percy Harvin. It's almost impossible to win up there.
Marvin Lewis says, let's just run the clock. 4th down and 9. This will be their first 4th down attempt this year. Campbell to throw, and incomplete. And the Bengals will turn it over on downs with 3:20 to play. He was looking for James Wright. Tennessee will send the offense back on the field one more time. They trail 33-7. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Hey, on Thursday, your football week starts here. Bitter rivalry. Giants and Redskins, another big-time matchup in primetime Thursday night football. NFL Network and CBS. Giants up big, looking for a win today, taking down the Texans, and the Redskins are in overtime with Philadelphia today.
It's 27-all, exciting game. I thought Kirk Cousins would be very effective moving the ball. Offenses look good with him under center thus far. I'm excited to see that game. I think the Giants, they're not as bad as what they played the first 2 weeks. I think they will continue to improve. And the Washington Redskins, the big thing to me, despite RG3, is their defense is a lot better this year.
Margus Hunt down on the sideline after chasing Jake Locker, who fumbled the snap and had to just get rid of it on the sideline.
Marcus, we've seen him banged up a few times today.
Margus Hunt is one of those freaks in nature. Big boy, 6'8", 290, out of SMU, and they're being very careful with him, asking him to move his arms, which he's able to do, and now roll over on his back.
Oh my goodness!
And you hear the oh my goodness.
All right, so in the back, can you move it up and down for me?
He was the Junior Olympic champion in both the discus and the shot put. Take another look. Just a push of Locker. Oh, is that a shoulder thing?
It's either a shoulder thing or a back thing, maybe. I'm not sure there. It really was not a violent hit to the turf or anything like that.
I wonder with that right arm stretched out whether or not subluxed that right shoulder.
Maybe you're right. It does look like from a distance he might be pointing at that.
The upcoming schedule for the Bengals.
Yeah, well, they got the bye week. That's huge. It always helps to have a bye week when you got to go up to New England and play Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. But that's no easy schedule. Carolina's for real this year. The Colts with Andrew Luck are always dangerous. And the Baltimore Ravens, I think that's an impressive defense and a team that will continue to get better on offense, too, with Gary Kubiak being the new offensive coordinator there.
I should correct myself. Tied up in the 4th quarter are the Redskins and the Eagles, not in overtime, but they are knotted up at 27. And we'll follow that one for you.
Hey, Rocky, shut the fuck up, Rocky.
On 2nd and 10, Locker. Deep down the field. Lofts it up for Justin Hunter. It never got there. Throwing against the wind, had no chance at that one.
No, that was a long throw right there into the wind, which is, yes, like you said, they're throwing right into it.
Take a look at the Titans' upcoming schedule. They head to Indianapolis next week.
Yeah, it's never easy going there and playing Andrew Luck with the quiet offense, a crowd. He can certainly orchestrate that. The Cleveland Browns, good defense. Kyle Shanahan doing a great job with their offense. This Tennessee Titans team, they got to get a few things hashed out this week, get back on the right track.
Struggled on 3rd down today, 2 of 11. Locker with time. Throws middle of the field for Nate Washington over his head, and we got a flag. Because while the ball went over his head, one of the Bengals may have caught Washington in the head.
Personal foul. Hit on the defenseless receiver, number 57, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, you said it earlier. It's almost impossible to play defense this day and age in the NFL. There's so many rules. I mean, he basically just trips over him there. That's not a good call right there by the referees. But, man, as you said earlier, it's just so tough to play defensive backfield, linebacker.
Almost an interception by Drake Kirkpatrick, but the ball hits the turf incomplete.
The penalties and the rules right now completely favor the offense. I would not want to be one of those guys right there, one of those corners. Drake Kirkpatrick, Pac-Man Jones. It's just so hard to cover receivers with as touchy of the penalty calls that are made right now in the NFL.
Second and 10 from the 42. That one out across the 45 to the 47-yard line to Stevens. And the clock continues to tick. So the Titans are going to fall to 1-2. And the Bengals are going to improve to 3-0. And have a rest week coming up. Locker on 3rd and 4. Down the middle of the field, looking for Hunter, incomplete. Kirkpatrick out in coverage again. He's waiting for his time, and he's having a tough time getting it. Hurt in his early stages, and hoping now that he's fully healthy, he gets his time, but it's hard to make your way in front of Leon Hall and Terrence Newman and Adam Jones.
It certainly is. It's a very interesting dynamic as far as what we learned on Friday in the meetings. You know, the young guys are pushing the Leon Halls and the Terrence Newmans because they know they got young guys on their heels who want to play. But yet Terrence Newman and Leon Hall, Adam Jones, they're teaching these young guys all about corner play in the NFL.
4th down and 4, and Locker's hit as he throws as the Bengals blitz one more time. And the Titans turn it over again on downs.
Haven't had an answer for that blitz all day long. I think that's certainly something the Titans will have to go back to the lab and evaluate. But this is another all-out blitz by the Bengals. And it just does. I know he misses the throw there, but I would just like to see a little bit more of a concise plan. I know when I played for John Gruden, we got looks like that. You had checks at your disposal, whether you can keep people in to block so you're safe to take some shots down the field. But they've certainly been off a little bit when it comes to that today.
Frustration for Ken Whisenhunt. This will be the last play before we hit the 2-minute warning. So the Bengals getting it done with or without Vontaze Burfict, up 33-7. Coming up on CBS, Super Bowl rematch. Peyton Manning and the Broncos traveling to Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the world champion Seahawks. Broncos and Seahawks.
How can you not be pumped? I'm ready to just, hey, this game gets over, hop in the car, get to the airport, sit down and watch that game.
Should be a good one. Final 2 minutes here. In the inside give, the Bengals just want to run this out. All right, your takeaway from Cincinnati today.
Well, the biggest thing, again, we've hit it many times, the timely playmaking, the ability to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think you got to look, of course, at the running backs, how talented they've been today, and Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill. And then it's missed opportunities by the Tennessee Titans. I think that's the one thing they'll take away. The score is a little bit misleading. We had the 2 missed field goals in the first half. The interception at the end of the half by Jake Locker. If they can just straighten some of those things out, I do think there's talent on this team moving forward.
Cedric Pierman on the ground. And the Bengals will likely get Marvin Jones back after the bye week next week. They will get Tyler Eifert back November 6th would be his first eligible day against the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
So they're missing two major offensive weapons. They are down a starting right guard in Kevin Zeitler. And Pollock, we didn't call his name at all today as he steps in with next man up. The Bengals have some depth.
They really do. And you know, you make an interesting point. They were not concerned about Mike Pollock starting at guard today, the slightest bit. But yes, it's scary. When you really think about it, you evaluate their team, the weapons that they got coming, they're going to be tough to beat. I really think they are one of the, I know a lot of people think it's the Broncos and the Pats, but watch out for this Bengals team. I will not be surprised if they go up to New England and win in a few weeks.
You may have noticed them working on Andy Dalton's right hand. Didn't appear to be anything serious, but the numbers put on the board as we set to begin the broadcast. This will be the 11th consecutive regular season home victory for the Cincinnati Bengals, setting a new franchise record. Kevin Huber to kick. He coming back from a broken jaw that he suffered against the Steelers last year. And true to the end, the Bengals down it inside the one. Drake Kirkpatrick is there.
But you can see there's very little weakness to this Bengals team, even on special teams. They got guys like Drake Kirkpatrick and first-round pick from this year, Darquez Denard, running down there on special teams. There's just so much, like you said, Brad, so much depth on the team, so much talent along with that depth. Marvin Lewis has done a great job. He obviously has a great eye for talent and evaluating players through the draft and free agency, and not afraid to take a chance on a player from time to time, and that's why I love him. I give Major kudos for that.
Locker will simply take a knee, and the clock will run out as the Bengals will improve to 3-0 with their 11th consecutive home victory in the regular season here at Paul Brown Stadium. They are making the jungle a tough place for teams to come in and play, Chris.
Yes, they are. It's a tough place to play to begin with, but the players on the field, they are getting it done with creative schemes on the offense and defensive side of the ball.
A.J. Green came in with a turf toe problem. He didn't look like he had a problem. Andy Dalton got it done, ran the offense efficiently, and the Bengals are marching on. Marvin Lewis believed that he had put together a crew this year that was deep. He is showing now that it is. Injuries have not fazed them at all. The Bengals get the win. Stay tuned for game 2 of our doubleheader. It is the Broncos at Seahawks in a Super Bowl rematch, or the Chiefs at the Dolphins. For Chris Sims, I'm Brad Johansson saying so long from Cincinnati. Thanks for joining us, watching the NFL on CBS.